So, you just built your two-stroke vacuum engine, right? Here is 3 tips that you can add to your engine to make it faster. First thing you can do is add more crankcase ventilation so that your valve that goes on top of here doesn't just stick down on here and not let it run. Second tip would be to have your porting like this. If you want it to run properly, this hole right here is another crankcase ventilation thing. It just helps. And then I know most of y'all don't have this, but this probably helps RPM. I haven't really tested it without. I will have to soon, but whatever. Another thing you can do is you can smooth out your crankcase as much as possible so that you get the most flow. Bonus tip: if you don't want your crankshaft to break at higher RPMs, this is the method. Let me take it apart real quick. Alright, so the difference between my indestructible crank and the normal crank is this one can only hold so much RPM before the axles just want to eject out of the engine. And mine fixes that issue by using stopper axles and 3L thin lift arms with the same middle axle. And yeah, this doesn't break even at 7900 plus RPM. So I don't think it'll break lower than that. Unless you just like break an axle somehow. Make yourself one of these pistons. I know it looks like it's wasting Lego, but as long as you don't break the piston, you're fine, because I've had to re-glue this one twice, but that's kind of normal. And the lighter the piston is, the faster it will go to an extent. When you're putting together your engine, make sure the piston is this way, or else it probably won't run, in my experience, even though I've never tried it. First trick is actually your flywheel, because most Lego flywheels have drag, and drag slows down the engine once you get going higher and higher RPMs. So what you want is high inertia, low weight, which is basically just high diameter, low weight in visual terms. Which material do you want to use for the valve? Now, this is a very dependent on what you have type of issue, but if you have to run a paper valve, I recommend using a lot more crankcase ventilation, because it will just suck the valve onto the port as soon as you put the vacuum on, which might make it not run depending on your piston friction and whatever else. Now, cardboard is the happy medium between plastic and styrene, or whatever you call this stuff. It's basically just packing material. I had it in my scale. So cardboard is a happy medium between those two because it still creases like paper. It just takes a little bit longer for it to crease. Now, plastic is really good if you don't want, like if you want to add a throttle over here, then plastic is probably the way to go. But plastic also creases, so you kind of can't use it for very long before it just doesn't work much anymore. And then we have the king of material for valves on these, or flaps, whatever you want to call them, and that would be styrene, because it almost never creases due to its nature of being this material. So yeah, this got 7,920 RPM. This got 7,860 RPM. This got this plastic gets around 7,100, I think, at most. Maybe less, probably more around 6. And then paper, I've tested, goes around 5,700 RPM. Now that you know all the mods you can do on your two-stroke Lego vacuum engine, go do them. I mean, seriously. Exhaust pipe files will be out soon.